The problem is who's funding studies. You got to remember, all studies have to get funded by somebody, and generally it's food companies and big pharma that fund studies. Who is going to fund a study to say stop eating a seed oil because the healthier oil would be something that you're getting from meat? They can't make money from that. Welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch. I think this is episode 342.
I'm Rachel.
And Joe.
And we are two
crazy
ketos.
ketos.
Happy Monday, everybody. It is 342.
It is 342.
It
Perfect. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, this is Keto Beyond the Couch. Keto Beyond the Couch is all about our subscribers. We do this every Monday. Usually it's a live stream. Today it is pre-recorded, but we do have people live in the chat right now. The reason it's pre-recorded is because we are currently, when you are watching this, on a cruise on Royal Caribbean's brand new ship, Star of the Seas.
When we booked this cruise, we did not have a farm or know about a farm in our future.
True.
That's crazy how long ago we booked it.
We booked it as soon as they announced the ship.
There wasn't even a ship.
There wasn't a ship. They were building the ship.
You know, this can speak to somebody's keto journey. It's amazing the difference a year can make,
yes,
or 2 years can make. Even if you've been doing something so wrong, even if you were like us and harming our body for a really long time with the foods that we were eating,
right,
you can have good success, and 2 years or even 1 year can change things.
Yeah. So when I think, in January of 2024,
right,
we were getting ready to go film RV Unplugged.
We were.
So we filmed RV Unplugged the first 2 weeks of February.
Okay.
We're not thinking about a farm. We were still in our old Grand Design travel trailer. We became brand ambassadors for Alliance RV. We ended up doing RV Unplugged. We ended up getting a new RV, which, again, we had no idea of where our life was going to go.
We didn't know we were going to live in it.
The one thing that we had learned in 2020, and we talked about this on Thursday, we actually had a whole presentation on the Low Carb Cruise about this, is 2020 taught us we need to learn to be self-sustainable.
Right.
And this is not a big propaganda thing. It was just, we need to be self-sustainable, because if you have another Lord Voldemort time, like, our meat, the way we eat, is highly susceptible to that.
Right.
So we wanted to have a farm. We've always talked about eventually moving. 2020 really made us start thinking about that. When we went to Elkhart, Indiana last year, we were like, this is like where I want to live. I want to live in a small town that has stuff to do, things within 20, 30 minutes. But we learned it was just too cold for us in Indiana. So we started looking. We found this place. I think we ended up making an offer on it in like June, right? We had no idea of what we were going to do.
No idea.
So we've been on this property for just over a year. We ended up moving up to the property last September. So just about a year. And right about this time, you were actually on your way to Kentucky,
Ketopalooza,
escaping a hurricane. And it has been a huge journey. Now we're raising poultry, we're raising turkeys, and we're getting ready to raise pigs. We're looking for a cow. I mean, just our life has gone in such the opposite direction of where it was. And if it wasn't for keto, we could not do this lifestyle.
Nutrition.
And when I say lifestyle, I mean living on a farm, doing the work we're doing.
Well, I think that nutrition, no matter what is going on in your life, we've also become empty nesters. We had a wedding that we went through last year. There's a lot of just relational things that we've gone through. We've welcomed grandbabies now,
yes,
since we've started keto. And I think about, there's always going to be change that happens in life. Sometimes you've been preparing for it, and sometimes there's no way you could prepare for it. And here we are.
Right.
And I love the fact that no matter what season of life we're in or what life brings us, we can always count on choosing the food that we eat. I can be in control of what I put in my mouth and then also what comes out of my mouth.
Right. So it really has been an amazing time. I'm thankful for keto to give us the energy to be able to rebuild the house, to run a farm, to do everything that we do. We're thankful to you guys as subscribers.
Yes.
Now, I do want to say today's Keto Beyond the Couch is sponsored by Salty.
Hey, Salty.
We absolutely love Salty. If you don't know what Salty is, this is an electrolyte. And you don't have to be on keto to use Salty.
No.
It's good for anything. If you have kids and grandkids playing sports, stop letting them have Gatorade. Give them this stuff instead. Salty is amazing. And yes, there are a lot of electrolyte companies out there, and many of them are good. We use several of them. But Salty has something, or actually doesn't have something, that many of the other ones have. And that is the fact that Salty, in their natural flavors, does not have maltodextrin. Many of the ones out there have maltodextrin in their natural flavors. It's not a lot, but it's still there. Salty doesn't have that. In addition, Salty's got almost 1,000 milligrams of sodium. And the cool thing about them is they have more potassium and a lot more magnesium than the other ones. And magnesium is one of the hardest things to get when you're on a keto lifestyle. But like I said, you don't have to be doing keto for Salty. They also have amazing flavors, including this one here, the Radical Grape. And I just have to throw this in there. When you are thirsty,
yes,
even if you don't like grape, you will drink grape Salty.
I proved that just recently because I was very parched and it was like, just give it to me. And yeah,
you drank the entire bottle.
I chugged it. I was authentically thirsty. Now, here's what I know. We're on a cruise right now, and I don't know exactly where I am. I could be like in our cabin. I could be beside the pool, but here's what I know.
I believe at the time that this video is going to be going, we will be in Costa Maya.
Oh my goodness.
Where you will probably be getting back rubs on the beach.
So here's what I know. No matter where I am, there shall be a Salty in my glass.
Yes.
Because what is really cool about Salty, I'm cheap. And whenever we go out to eat, I'm not the person that orders a beverage other than water just because I'm not going to pay for an extra beverage, right? I always order water. I love having so many beautiful drinks right inside of my purse. All I have to do is bring them along, and no matter where we're at, I have a lovely beverage. It won't be grape, but it may be melon, it may be Mondo melon, it could be cherry chill. That could be in my drink right now.
So there's a link right here on the screen, as well as one down in the description. When you use that link, it's going to take you to the Keto Chow website, where you can use that to get 10% off your order. The reason we're sending you to the Keto Chow website, which is a company that also makes Salty, or it makes Salty, is because if you use our link on Keto Chow, you're going to get 10% off. If you use our link over on the Salty website, you only get 5% off. And we're all about saving you money. So if you're looking to get some good electrolytes, check out Salty using the link on the screen or the one down below in the description box. Now, since you're talking about the cruise,
yes,
I did want to mention, because people were concerned about us, because
thank you.
There are a couple of storms out there.
Thanks for caring.
And we were supposed to be doing an Eastern Caribbean cruise, and we wanted to let everybody know, if you didn't see Rachel's post, that right after our Thursday live stream, we did get a notification from Royal Caribbean that, in an abundance of caution, they are moving our entire itinerary. So we are doing a Western Caribbean cruise. So we're going to Costa Maya, Cozumel, right? Cozumel, as well as Roatan.
I am thrilled. And here's the thing. We were talking about different seasons of life and things you can't control. We can't control this.
Yeah.
But I was already...
Don't stress.
I was having my eyes set on just relaxing and enjoying myself, and us having some lovely conversations and enjoying time together. That didn't change.
Yeah.
Right? I used to be somebody pre-keto, honestly, because really the nutrition fed into the way I felt. My emotions were really out of whack. And anything like this, a slight change would have absolutely sent me off.
Right.
Is it nice being married to
It is very nice
Rachel?
being married to the keto version of Rachel.
Yeah.
So before we get into the full comment section, okay, so I wanted to address something that there's been a lot of posts about, and that is this misinformation list that has come out.
Okay.
And if so, have you not seen this?
I have not seen this.
So there's a list of it's misinformation influencers.
I watch a lot of
Basically
cat videos.
Spreading, they're saying these people are the ones who are the number one people to spread lies and propaganda about nutrition.
Okay.
And you have people like Sean Baker's number one, Dr. Barry's like number two, number three, Dr. Georgia Ede, Dr. Jason Fung, Amber O'Hearn. Get the where we're going here with the
all
with
people
the list.
who like meat?
Yes. So I just want to say, don't freak out because you're seeing a bunch of people go, well, these are leading scientists. This list is put out by an organization that promotes vegan and vegetarian lifestyles.
So they definitely are biased.
Oh, absolutely. They do not believe in meat eating, and if you are going to eat meat, that it should be very, very little because they're saying we are destroying the environment.
I gotta say, some of these like inflammatory comments, like just putting a banner over somebody, it's like they're, misinformation or like they're
misinfluencers is what they're calling them.
These type of banners, the problem is you can't have social media going 24/7, 365 for years and years now, right? And say these things. It's like, I just don't get upset anymore.
Well, the thing is that
it out.
They're saying this is like a leading scientist, like 36 doctors and scientists from around the world met, and they've got this list, and they're promoting a vegan and vegetarian lifestyle because they're saying that meat is destroying the world and the environment. Everything is, I'm sorry, they're lies. They put out statistics like animal agriculture is responsible for 60% of global warming, and it's not. You can always manipulate numbers and
poor
things
Joel
like that.
Salatin's probably on the list too, right?
Oh, it's insane. No, I didn't see his name on the list. It's because he's not really considered an influencer.
Ask a farmer. Ask someone who has spent their life in agriculture what it's doing to the soil.
And I am not going to put a link to the organization down below because we don't even want to give them any extra stuff.
No.
But I just want to say that it's basically a big propaganda thing, and for all of their animal agriculture is what's destroying the environment. Don't you dare ask them, what about all of the farming equipment that is farming all of the vegetables and soy and everything else you want us to eat?
I would love to invite somebody who's like concerned about that sort of thing to our farm and see what our pasture raised animals are doing to our farm and the new life and the new growth, like what is happening in our grass.
Yes.
As we just processed about 30 meat birds every single day. We have portable coops for our meat birds so that they are always on fresh grassland, but they would not be able to run away from a hawk like an egg layer. Okay?
We've shown you this stuff. As you move them, you can see where they were, and then within 3 days, there's more grass. The grass is greener. We're getting more soil instead of sand. I mean, it's better for our farm. And all you have to do is go check out the documentary, The Lunatic Farmer with Joel Salatin, and you'll learn that a lot of the lies they're telling you are just that. They are lies. But just to give you an idea, I mean, here's a picture of some of the chickens that we process.
Yeah.
So we process like 30 birds. And again, these are animals that are grazing on pasture, and then they're supplemented with a non-GMO, no soy, very healthy extra feed to give them extra supplement, and then they have one bad day. Literally, they don't even have a bad day. They have a bad 3 seconds.
Right. So it's strange to me. I mean, I guess it's motivated by money. I mean, like let's be honest, right?
Yes.
People will scare people if there's money involved and try to force you to do what they want you to do in reaction to that. And I think that it's interesting. In this year, my pace has not been more stressed. It's been less stress. And part of that is the farmer side of it, because certainly we've got all this construction going on and there's always a lot of stuff to do. We travel a lot, but there is such a peace and there is such a joy in raising animals and letting them have their best life.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, they don't want you to eat the meat at all. My point
So sad.
is the machinery that it takes to grow all of the crops that they're talking about add to environmental issues. Then you have to transport all that stuff. So honestly, I will give them this. If you really want to work on the environment, support a local farmer, like at an Amish market.
Yes.
Okay?
That would be the way I would do it too.
Like, just take your bicycle,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to tell them, unless they are only walking or they are riding a bicycle to a local farmer's market and only buying their vegetables from an Amish farmer who is not using any kind of gas or anything like that. And I don't want to hear electric, because you have to create the electricity somehow. And we're not even going to get into wind panels and stuff like that, because that's bad for the environment as well. So unless you're only getting it from a local Amish farmer who is doing old time farming, I don't want to hear that my eating a cow is affecting the environment.
I just don't give anybody permission
leave me there
in my life to make me feel bad.
Let's get into Keto Beyond the Couch. We're going to start off with this one from Carrie.
Oh, Carrie.
Said, this one hits close to home. Hug your people while you can. Life changes fast. Don't wait to say what matters.
That is so true. And as somebody who lost her father very unexpectedly, I know that your father passed away very quickly from diagnosis
3 months
to passing away, and that was very unexpected. Daddy, we had no idea.
Right.
It was a widowmaker heart attack. And there was still more to be said. There was more things that I wanted to tell him, and I would love to tell him. So if you still have people in your life that you love and you're like, man, I would really like to tell them something, do me a favor, because I can't tell my father what I'd like to tell him. Go tell the people you love what you want to tell them.
Next one we have is from Larry.
Hey, Larry.
Be the oldest person in the gym, not the youngest person in a nursing home.
Bang.
I love that.
That is incredible, because unfortunately, we feel bad and awkward sometimes for the wrong thing. We go in and, maybe it's your day one that you're going to the gym, and either we feel like we're too old to be there, like we don't fit in for some reason, or we're not good at this thing, and so we're going to look foolish because we're a newbie. But how are you going to be experienced unless you're first
You got to learn
new?
somewhere.
You got to learn somewhere. I love that, Larry.
Next one we have is from Sarah Joy.
Hey, Sarah Joy.
I talked with my hubby and I set a goal to achieve in order to achieve a childhood dream. First, I need to get the next 60 pounds off and work on building strength. Then I can fulfill my childhood dream of learning to horseback ride.
Oh, wow.
While I don't think I'll be able to own a horse, I don't need a horse to learn. I plan to learn English style.
How cool is that?
I love that. And one of the things that really stood out to me is, again, we talk about goals.
Yeah.
Now, yes, she is attaching it to a weight, like a number.
But it's like, it's just checking a list. It's not like a focus about that. Yeah.
Having a goal of, I want to get into these set of pants, or when I do this, I want to go skydiving, or I want to learn to scuba dive. Having that goal really helps you to keep yourself going. I mean, just having a goal of, I want to lose weight.
Right.
If that worked, we would all be skinny.
I remember my mom trying to get things in order as far as strength and getting a certain size. It helped her to focus as well, to do zip lining.
Yes.
Why? Because just like the horseback riding, there's a certain weight and you need to have a certain amount of strength, to hold on and stuff. And same for my mom. She knew she needed to have this requirement and this requirement. There was no emotional attachment to it. It was just a prerequisite to go do the thing that you really want to do. I
will say, I'm sure people are going to disagree with me.
Okay.
I will say something like, I want to look good for my daughter's wedding is not a good enough goal.
Well, here's the problem.
Because it's a one and done.
So I lost 170 pounds since my keto life. And I had a wedding where I am mother of the groom. And I can tell, I've had 2 weddings where I'm mother of the groom. In both of them, I would be happy to tell you all of the flaws that I see in the photos of me on those days. Now, somebody else may say, like, Rachel, big picture, you're vibrant, you look alive, your skin looks alive, you're 170 pounds thinner than you were before you started this thing. Like, why can't you focus on that? Yes, indeed. If your only focus is, I want to look good, you will still have criticisms of yourself. So I wouldn't attach it to me liking the picture of me, because that is just definitely something not guaranteed. In fact, I've talked to people who really loved their dress. They really loved their makeup. They didn't have a lot of criticism about like them, so to speak, but the hairdresser didn't do a great job on my updo and now I'm dissatisfied. So I think there's always a way to be dissatisfied when it comes to just a looks thing.
That's why I think it's better. Don't attach it to a day. Attach it to, I want to fulfill this dream, like Sarah, and going horseback riding or learning to do something that's going to last more than one day.
Right.
Next one we have is from Andy.
Hey, Andy.
I'm visiting my sister and spending the night for her birthday. None of the family is keto, and she was kind enough to ask if I wanted anything added to her Walmart order. That she was getting lettuce and coleslaw mix. I said if she had eggs and cheese, I was good. I mentioned I would grab a rotisserie chicken and bring my keto chow and a few snacks. Solo keto at a family event. Here I come.
I love this. Thank you for really just kind of like showing us the whole picture, because a lot of people get afraid about going into the holidays, going and having like a sleepover, visiting relatives. It's stressful. And a lot of times it's stressful because you're just not used to it. And you have all of these like hypothetical situations of like doom that's going to happen when you arrive there. People are going to make fun of you, or you're going to have to answer questions you're not comfortable with, or you're going to really put people out. A lot of times really putting people out is what people fear the most. But the truth is, making something keto is easy. It really, really is. I think the most awkward thing you may have is they have a dish, if it's a pre-prepared thing or pre-prepared dessert that you have to just kind of pass on. That may be the most of the awkwardness, but I got to tell you, not keto. There were times that I came to a family gathering or a social event and I was on XYZ diet. I was on Weight Watchers, or I was on, lean cuisine only, or whatever. And I plenty of times said, no, thank you. No, thank you. I'm on a diet. And I didn't get the pushback that I was anticipating. And I didn't care in that moment. But when we come into keto, it's like, oh, I'm so afraid. You don't have to be.
Next one we have is from Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Seed oil hysteria is clinically unfounded.
Have you ever seen seed oil being made?
So here's the thing. I want to address this.
Okay.
Because yes, if you go out and do a search, and you're going to see some people say seed oils aren't that bad, some people say seed oils are horrible, and some people will say seed oils are healthy. Let's start off with this. Seed oils were never made to be consumed. They were machinery lubricating oils.
That's one.
Let's start there.
Right.
It was not made to be a consumed food. It was made for lubricating machines. So it's just like the diesel engine. The diesel engine was never made to run diesel fuel. It was designed by Rudolf Diesel so that farmers could grow their own fuel. You could run it off of pretty much any kind of crop oil. I mean, it was kind of insane. But that is one of the things that seed oils, like originally, the diesel engine could be run off of corn oil, peanut oil. Now they put all kinds of things in there, and big oil came in and found a way to sell it to you cheaper, right? But you have to look at who's funding studies and what side is saying it's unfounded, it's not that bad. The other day we were messing around with ChatGPT. We were asking it questions about a very
hot
controversial health topic. And I don't want to get into it because even in this space, it's divided.
Right.
But I would ask it questions and ask it about studies. And it was so clear and obvious that it was being pushed from the big food, big pharma side. And it didn't want to hear my side. And again, this is ChatGPT. And I would say, but what about this study? Well, that's kind of nonsense. Well, what about this statistic and this statistic and this statistic? And no matter what we did, it would come back and basically say, that's unfounded, this. And it got to the point where we actually yelled back at ChatGPT, is like, you're only listening to one side. And it's the same thing here. Now, even the reason I bring up ChatGPT is because even with ChatGPT, when I went in and asked it about seed oils, it gave a whole list of the problems with seed oils. So if it really wasn't that big of a deal, it wouldn't have the list. Go into ChatGPT and ask it, what are the dangers of seed oils? And some of them is, number one, the way they're made.
Yeah. I mean, rancid, bleached. I mean, it's
Deodorized, high heat.
It's
they
a really
oxidize.
disgusting thing.
So what are the health problems? And we've got numerous videos, so I don't want to get too much into it. But what are the health problems with it? Well, let's see. High in omega-6, that really throws off your balance of omega-6 to omega-3. Oxidizes easy, does not withstand heat well. When you do heat up these oils, even ones that are made to be fried in, like canola oil and stuff like that, it changes it. They last in your body for years.
Right.
They cause inflammation. So to say that the hysteria is unfounded, when I can tell you hundreds of people in my own sphere, not even around the world, that the second they stop eating seed oils, they feel healthier, they have less inflammation, their joints are better, everything about it. There are so many things. The problem is, who's funding studies? You got to remember, all studies have to get funded by somebody. And generally, it's food companies and big pharma that fund studies. Who is going to fund a study to say stop eating a seed oil because the healthier oil would be something that you're getting from meat? They can't make money from that.
Well, I was just thinking,
maybe the butter companies.
Can you imagine how much it would cost to overhaul every single product on our grocery shelves that incorporated a seed oil?
Yeah, seed oils are cheaper.
You're talking baby formula. You're talking Pediasure has got a seed oil in it.
Right.
I mean, everything. I understand it would be a monumental task, and it would result in much higher prices at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you get avocado oil mayonnaise versus seed oil mayonnaise, very big cost difference.
Yeah.
There. It's better product, so it costs more. So I understand the don't look behind the curtain back here, because it's going to cause a lot of problems and a lot of headaches, and it's going to be a lot of money. Don't look at it. But that doesn't mean it isn't still true.
Yeah. The only people that would benefit financially from doing a study to prove that seed oils are bad are farmers. Well, here's the thing. Farmers don't have enough money.
No.
They don't. They barely get by. Nobody is a farmer to get rich. You become a farmer because you love it and you want to pass things on to the next generation. You don't become a farmer to get rich. They don't have the money that big food has to continue to promote the fact that canola oil, that they say is healthier. Their whole marketing gimmick was, this is heart healthy. That's what they tell you. This is heart healthy. This will lower your HDL, which in some cases is true, but you can also lower your HDL in other places. And even ChatGPT, when I asked it, went on to say that the HDL, the LDL isn't everything, and more studies, it actually said more studies are showing that LDL is not that bad when you're not consuming sugar.
We just went all in with Ansel Keys' faulty research, and that once America started heading in that direction, following that bad science, we just have continued down that road without anybody saying, hey, we're getting sicker in the United States. Maybe we should relook at where we started to push the seed oils in the first place.
Yeah. So again, if you're consuming seed oils, that's fine. Do we have them once in a while? We're going on a cruise. I'm sure we're going to have foods that have seed oil. Yes. But in my personal opinion, it should not be a major part of your diet. You shouldn't consume it on a regular basis. And as we've done in multiple videos, seed oils have nothing to do with keto. It has to do with health.
Yeah.
Next one we have is from Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
Rachel, you look so pretty in pink.
Thanks, Sharon.
I love you guys. Joe, I will never buy the carnivore bar that you advertise because you always buy the popular ones before I even get a chance to get some.
I can totally see where you're going with that. Yes, we try our very best, and with Keto
It's
Brick as
kind
well.
of a joke, though.
Oh, of course. But I mean, I do know that these things, like the carnivore bar and the Keto Brick, they sell out fast.
Yes.
And so if it's something that we can talk about early, a lot of times, excuse me, Keto Brick will let us say at least a couple of days before it comes that this is the flavor that's out. And if we know that it's a fast seller, we're going to tell everybody, like, you got to get this. Right. I will say coming up, what is it, October 15th, I believe it is, 14th. We will put more posts up about it. The carnivore bar is coming back with the best flavor ever.
So when they do come out with the apple pie flavor,
Yes.
What we will do, I still have some from last year. We will do a video comparing the old one to the new one, and I'll let you know whether or not I think it's any good.
Yeah.
Because I love the old one, but
so
they're
good.
using a different ingredient this year, so we'll let you know.
Yeah.
Before we move on, I do want to ask you to, if you aren't already subscribed to our channel, please make sure you head down below. Number one, hit the like button on this video. It really does help the channel, but make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the bell button so that you're notified whenever we upload a new video. While you're down there, if you need to get anything, any kind of keto products, anything on Amazon, please consider using one of those links down below to help support our channel. Or you can use the link down below to buy us a cup of coffee. And if you aren't already a member, make sure you go join our Mighty Networks group. We have two kinds. We have the paid one and we have the free one. 99% of everything is in the free version. So completely free, members.2crazyketos.com. And if you want to support us, you can join one of the paid groups where you get some extra things like Rachel's Wednesday Lives. Now, the next one we have is from, Sharon, from Lori.
Hey, Lori.
Lori said, thank you for stressing the importance of sleep. I know the late nights are causing me issues, not my food intake.
So this is from when we were doing the video about why you may not be registering like high ketones or higher ketones, your goal ketones on the meters because you're keto. And one of the things that can wreak havoc on your ketones is lack of sleep. It really does influence so many things in our life. And so whatever you can do to work on your sleep hygiene, whether it is, and I know sometimes it sounds silly, right? But it really does push the needle. Maybe you need different pajamas. Maybe you need a new mattress.
Maybe you need no pajamas.
Maybe you need no pajamas. Maybe you need a different pillow. Maybe you need to start turning those screens off. Maybe you need to darken the room, right? Or cool down the room a little bit more. And all of these things add to better sleep, and better sleep it's just so powerful.
Next one we have is from Marilyn.
Hey, Marilyn.
Great video, Rachel and Joe. I am one of those people who has to have their scale or I would go nuts. I have tried to not use it, but I always gain weight. So weighing myself once a day really helps me stay on track. It helps me keep the carb creep down. And that is good. We are not anti-scale. We are anti-scale for us. And I will say we are anti-scale for anybody who obsesses over a scale. Yeah. If you can get on a scale once a day just to it helps you to go, okay, I'm good. But where we worry about people who are like us and you're getting on the scale 5-6 times a day. Like, I'm going to go to the gym. So let me weigh before the gym and after the gym to see how much I sweat. I've literally met people who weigh the amount of fluid that they drink to make sure that they're peeing out the same amount of fluid.
I think that people sort of know without anybody telling them if they have a disordered relationship with what we call tools in our toolbox.
Yes.
And
it could be anything. You could have a disordered relationship with the gym.
You can absolutely have this thing that is perfectly fine. I say this all the time. A lot of the different tools can, a swimming pool is where some people medal in the Olympics, but it's also a place where other people drown. So know yourself. And if it's not the scale, but there's something on your mind right now that you're like, oof, I'm disordered in this. I'm out of whack in this area. I need to work. I need to let this go. Whatever it is. Don't just sit there and be like, well, I don't have a problem with the scale, knowing you have a problem with something else, because the scale you can have a normal relationship with that, but then you can be like disordered in another space.
Yeah, you can be a person, and we've had clients like this that they're fine with the scale.
Sure.
but they're sticking their finger 15 times a day checking their ketones.
Right.
Like it's so that's the whole thing we want to open people's minds to, is that anything that you're going to obsess over is something that I would start looking at and going, ugh, is this helping my journey? If you're obsessing over the scale, it's probably not helping your journey. If you're obsessing over, like, I didn't get this many steps in, and like it's causing stress because your goal is 10,000 steps and you only got 8,976 steps. If you're obsessing over, my ketones are only showing up at a 0.4 and I don't know why they're not a 0.5. I mean, and you have any of those things can impact your journey in a lot of different ways, because number one, you start doing weird things to try to get to what the number you're looking for. But more importantly, it's causing stress. And the stress is going to affect your journey in a whole nother way.
Yeah.
Next one we have is from Carrie P.
Hey, Carrie.
The American Heart Association receives fees for allowing companies with products of dubious nutritional value to be placed on their packaging. So in 2002, they received over $2 million, according to the Center for Science in Public Interest. This goes back to the big food thing we were talking about. So in other words, the American Heart Association gets paid for this company, which we can all tell is Cheerios, to put that little label on there. Like we were talking about with the farmers. You can't battle that. Who is influencing what is being recommended to us by food for food? Big food. They're literally paying doctors and the people who run things up on top of them and lobbyists to go into Congress and say, this is what everybody should be eating.
Well, we've seen that, with different companies, like service providers who pay to be given an award, but you're buying your own trophy that says, well, this is a very reputable company, or this is a good housekeeping award, or this is, it's a certification that you are paying to get into. Well, is that really an authentic award? Is that really, are you really, a medal of approval by who? The person you're paying to say you're good?
Years ago, I worked for the company they sold water filters.
Okay.
And they got the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. Then I learned you pay for that.
So is it really an
and
award?
That's the case with a lot of things. Like they had a very famous singer and songwriter become the ambassador.
Okay.
The global ambassador for the company. Yeah, you know why? Because they paid them $10 million. Well, does that mean that and I'm not going to name the singer, but does that mean that singer actually loved the product? Don't know.
And I know
that got $10 million.
And I know that, if you, I'm not just saying that, well, if you represent a company, you're not authentic about it.
No. But you have to look at things.
You do have to look and see, well, here's the thing. If this water filter is good, it's great, couldn't just a normal person that enjoys water say, hey, I really like it?
Well, that's like we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. We've had companies offer us money to be a brand ambassador or for advertising, and they have all these stipulations, like you can't talk about any other company. Like one of them is an electrolyte company, and they're like, you can't ever. I'm like, no.
Then you wouldn't be
the only thing that we have is our integrity.
That's literally it. Your name.
And so no, because so does that mean that I'm doing an advertisement for you because you're paying me, or because I actually like the product? We will not represent any company that we don't like. If I don't like it, we usually will tell you. Well, we do tell you.
What's upsetting, and I'm sure to a lot of medical professionals who have come into the keto space, is that thought that they were in partnership with the food industry to help their patients get healthy. Unless you are living this keto lifestyle, right? You may have not noticed the health changes that can be the result of proper nutrition yourself. We've talked over and over again how little nutrition information that even someone going to be a doctor even gets when they are in school. They're learning about all of these other things, but nutrition being such a vital component is just not one of them. And just feel like how betrayed you feel when you're like, I sent this person down the Cheerios aisle because I thought this would benefit their heart health journey.
Right.
And it really didn't.
They're influenced by insurance companies. They're influenced by big pharma. I mean, not with Big Pharma, not as much because they can't buy them off as easily. But Big Pharma influences the insurance companies,
Sure.
and they all influence the government with lobbyists and everything else. And it's like, this is going to sound bad, and I'm sure this is going to turn out in a soundbite. I personally think any doctor who is literally telling people, and there are doctors out there, that if you're a type 2 diabetic, it's okay to have sugar so long as you take this medication. I think every one of them should, number one, be sued for malpractice, and number two, lose their medical license. How can you, in good conscience, as a doctor, tell a diabetic to eat sugar?
Right.
Period. Like, I think that you should be sued for malpractice. If you tell a patient it's okay to eat sugar, knowing that they have to take a medication to combat that sugar, that's malpractice in my personal opinion. But they are literally influenced by Big Pharma and Big Food, and the book that they have sitting on their desk called the Physician's Desk Reference that says, if a patient has this, give them this.
You have to give that.
Yeah. So that's the real problem. Next one we have is from T. Lewis.
Well, hello, T. Lewis.
I bought G. Hughes sugar-free ketchup for my granddaughter who needs to cut sugar. She tasted it and she loved it. Unfortunately, I did not read the ingredients until she said she loved it. I thought she would hate it because it said sugar-free. While in checking the ingredients, it has modified cornstarch and sucralose. It sounds like carbs to me. Okay, so yes, there's a few carbs in modified cornstarch. Is it the greatest product? No, but in the grand scheme of things with everything else, I wouldn't freak out. If it comes down to Heinz ketchup versus G. Hughes sugar-free ketchup, the G. Hughes is going to be 1,000 times better. You're talking about they're adding a little bit of cornstarch to thicken it, probably for cost things because xanthan gum and things like that are so much more money. And nobody wants watery tomato ketchup. When I think about watery tomato ketchup, number one, I grew up with my mother making it, but all I can think about is National Lampoon's Vacation.
Right.
Right?
Real
when it's like
ketchup.
real tomato ketchup, right? Because it's like literally like drinking tomato soup. Sucralose, and this is why I chose this thing. Sucralose is not sucrose. People confuse them. Sucralose is considered an artificial sweetener. There are people who say it's not good for you and it affects your gut biome. We're not going to get into all that because those studies are flawed because they're giving them like more sucralose than you're going to eat in a year. That's what they were given to the rats. And oh, by the way, we're not rats. And oh, by the way, those rats were not on a ketogenic diet. But it is sugar-free and it does not become sugar in your body. It will not raise your glucose. It will not, unless something weird is going on in your body, will not cause you to have insulin spikes. Sucralose is not sucrose, and that's where people confuse it. So if you're worried about carbs, there are no carbs in sucralose. Sucralose is not a bad sweetener, in my opinion. It's not the perfect sweetener, but it's not a bad sweetener because they also only need a little bit. Like 1 drop is equal to 2 teaspoons of sugar. Oh, yeah.
Well, and I would say that if she's open to a sugar-free ketchup, take a look at the True Made. We like that brand.
True Made.
If I am not...
Or Primal Kitchen.
If I am not mistaken, I've even seen... I think recently I was looking at the Heinz sugar-free. Check me if I'm wrong. Always look at the ingredient labels no matter what, because if the video's been old, they could change your ingredients up. But I think the last time I even looked at it, it didn't have bad ingredients. The Heinz sugar-free had some,
The ones you have to be careful with, they say, like, no corn syrup. That's their big gimmick. No corn syrup, but then they're putting sugar. They're just not using corn syrup.
I would not go down the Walden Farms route.
Yes.
Ugh.
That's, aside from being gross, it's a chemical whatever.
Yeah.
Next one's from Nora.
Hi, Nora.
I wonder how many people are like me, a truck driver that drives the night shift and listens to you guys all night long.
Aww.
There are so many times I want to comment, but I can't. You two are the main reason that my husband and I are still here trucking at the age of 70.
Wow.
We are healthy thanks to you both. We leave on Monday and are home on Friday. I make all of our food at home and I pack it up, and I'm so glad that we can eat healthy out here. Keep it up, and I enjoy listening to you.
Wow.
First, I want to say, Nora, thank you to you and your husband.
Yes.
And to all the truckers out there. You guys are the lifeblood of our country.
Yes, you are.
And I wish more people would give more appreciation to truckers. I can't tell you how many times, like, We are on the road a lot. We RV, and I see people nasty to truckers. Like I will buy truckers cups of coffee, or like I've paid for their food in a truck stop. You're the lifeblood of our country, and we thank you for the service that you're doing. I don't think enough people realize what would happen if something happened with truckers. And I thank you for taking your health seriously, because as Carnivore Werewolf, who is also a trucker, talks about, you guys are driving a big rig. Mm-hmm. And it can cause a lot of that, as we've seen in the media in the last few weeks. When you guys get into an accident, there's a lot of people's lives on the line. And a major issue for truckers is having heart attacks behind the wheel. So we appreciate you for taking your health so seriously and being a trucker and doing this. And I just wanted to finish up with that last part that you have on there, where you are making your food at home and you're taking it with you. So for everybody out there that says it's hard, you can't do keto on the road, it's too hard. Nora and her husband are truckers.
It's on the road.
They are eating keto on the road. Yeah. So if they can do it, we can all do it.
Well, and I think about a lot of times meal prep is maybe just like a day or two. Maybe you're thinking meal prep is just, I'm getting stuff if I could just get things started, teed up for breakfast, get my lunch packed maybe the night before. That would be progress, right? You're doing it for a week. Yeah. A week for two people. That's a lot on the road. This is a lot. You're amazing.
Next one is from Faded Star.
Well, hello.
MCT oil can be like a laxative for me, whereas fractionated coconut oil does not do that. Good. So just a heads up, we've been talking about Maria Emmerich's thing. For a heads up that you may not want to use the mayo with an MCT oil, Google says MCT is concentrated C8 and C10 fatty acids, whereas fractionated can also have C12. Maybe that's the difference. Use MCT oil for mayo at your own risk. I would agree. So when we're talking about MCT oil, okay, there are a lot of different versions. Even if you go to your local health food store, like GNC or Vitamin World or any of them, when you go over there, you're going to see a lot of different ones. And you always want to look at which of the different fatty acids are in there. Some you can get just C8. Definitely would not do that one. You can get just C10. You can get C10, C8.
I like the blends.
You can get a blend of C8, C10, C12. So, and they all have different things. So some are better for cognitive function. So, but I would agree, do not use like straight C8 or C8, C10. My point with the video is that basically fractionated coconut oil is just an MCT oil. They're removing some of the saturated fats and leaving in some of your shorter chain fatty acids. We are going to try it when we get back from our cruise. I would have no intention on using just a straight C8 oil, because
disaster pants.
Like a half a teaspoon sends me to the toilet.
Right.
Last one we have is from Mel.
Hi, Mel.
In Australia, it is really hard to find clean pork rinds, and the few brands that I found have to be ordered online, cost quite a bit. So instead, I buy pork skins, just the skin, nothing added to it, and I make my own in an air fryer. I usually warm up bacon grease and brush it on top, and then add lots of salt.
That is such a great workaround. And I will say that we have cooked pork before, like in our La Caja China.
Yeah.
And
nothing is better than that.
And it's delicious. And it does. I mean, that's the best part of it, is everybody gathers and you've got that really, really crispy pork skin with it that you're cooking. And that's incredible. But what a great idea. Thank you for just reminding us of that, so that people who may have to pay like a hefty toll for shipping and stuff like that would be able to think, oh, I can have pork rinds.
Well, that is going to be the end of this week's Keto Beyond the Couch. Now, just a reminder, there will not be, most likely, but there is no plan to have a live this Thursday at 8:30 p.m. because we are going to be on the ship. And the bottom line is, like, ship Wi-Fi is just unpredictable. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's not. When we get on the ship, again, brand new ship, maybe things are different. If we find that we can get some good internet, maybe we'll do some kind of quick pop-in live at some point during the week. That's why you want to make sure you subscribe to the channel and you hit the bell button. This way you'll be notified before that. But we will be back live next Monday at 10 a.m. for Keto Beyond the Couch. And we also have some great videos for you guys coming out this week. Now, if you like seeing videos like this, take a look at the video we have linked right over there. Also, make sure you take a look at the most recent videos I'm going to put right over here.
But whether you head this way or you head this way, don't forget to head this way, subscribe to our channel, and click the little bell icon. And that way, every single time we upload a new video, you'll be alerted to it.
Till next time.
Bye.